But aside from the organic stuff, one thing that we have seen a lot of updates with is GMB, obviously, which hasn't stopped for a few months now. And I know, Chaz, you recently just sent out an email that I saw about the major shifts with GMB this month.
We've been testing, we're still testing, things are definitely in flux. They're targeting, man, whatever they did to the results brought back a ton of previously filtered listings that are now back in the SERP results and throwing things off. Obviously it throws off results, especially if you have competing businesses within a couple hundred feet of them. They're going to end up helping to filter, and that's driving a lot of SEOs up the wall right now. And then also looks like they're targeting the naming, the way some people are naming GMBs. Looks like they are starting to take an aggressive approach against it. We tested city names. We're now in the process of testing adding keywords, and it looks like they're definitely targeting those things now. It has to be, from what we're seeing, if you're going to use those, the best way is make them more natural looking. If you're going to incorporate them into a business name, try to make them natural looking. We also saw some stuff that got hit recover on their own. So, I mean, they're definitely changing the algorithm pretty frequently in local. It's been, somebody said it was maybe the most significant local maps update in 2 years since Possum, so that's a big thing. I went through, since this whole thing started, just yesterday I went back through and analyzed 19 sites specifically for looking at one specific issue, and or 19 listings. I've been just digging into this, trying to find all the correlations of exactly what they're targeting with this update, what's happening. Looks like it's multiple updates though. Beginning of it looks like first week of November we had one, the week after looks like we had one, and then right now looks like they might have tweaked something else where just from some stuff we're seeing instant suggested edits are going through like instantly right now. Things that were pending for months and months just hit literally. And one of them that hit for me was I went in, added a business, and it was approved today or yesterday along with all my other stuff. I'm hearing other people saying they use level 7 guide accounts for instant approval now. So definitely lots of things changing locally. If you were affected, I do have a video I put up on the local client takeover website in the free GMB course. I got an update video. As we get more tests done, I'll continue to update it there, and obviously in the LCP group as well. But tons of movement.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of theories. Everybody has a theory. I tend to take a lot of the theories with grains of salt because they don't test across large enough scale. They have one or two listings and something happened there, and it's not the way to test. You have to look at a large set, then actually try to repeat that using single variable tests on listings that haven't had anything done to them in a long time, and see if you see the same things. And that's how you kind of do your tests and kind of get a little bit better of a idea of what actually happened when you test that way, rather than just going from theories that aren't really tested or thoroughly checked out. So I take everything with a grain of salt. One update just happened 18 days ago or whatever, the first part of it, and still seems to be rolling out. So take everything with a grain of salt. It's still very early in a huge update. So test, just do good quality local SEO if you're doing it. Stick with the basics, do good quality signals, make sure the relevance is up. Check, and I'm seeing this a ton, check for new duplicates that you didn't know about that the client had 10 years ago and they just now popped up. We're seeing that a lot. Check for not only duplicates of your own listings, but check for new listings that are in the building or right down the street from you that weren't there before. This update brought a lot of that stuff out and unfiltered them. We're seeing them across the board. And if you suddenly lost rankings, most likely you got filtered because of something like that. Or check how your name looks. Check that stuff there. Does look like older listings. Age might be a thing now. Some of the tests I've run, kind of, I add a city name to the end of a listing, it tanks, but then it recovered within like 4 days on its own, nothing else done to it. The only thing was like a listing from 2015 or so. It was a very old listing. Maybe not that, it's 2016, but still a pretty old listing. And it kind of correlates with a lot of what other SEOs are saying and looking at. Definitely lots of flux.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been able to find. I've seen a lot of movement. Haven't been able to find too much. What is necessarily causing it. But the one thing I have seen across many listings, which is interesting, I guess you could say, is that I've lost a lot of rankings where there isn't any searches. Meaning, like when I look at my geo grids, I used to rank like in Florida, like way over the ocean. And all those rankings are gone. Or I was ranking in like Las Vegas, but then like once you get to the city limits and there's like no residential or people anywhere, like those rankings have dropped to like 20 plus.
Now that you mentioned that, I have a listing that is similar to that.
Yeah.
Used to rank all over the whole county, but the big city there, like they still have good rankings there, but they lost all their outside ranks, and it was like,
yeah,
it's weird.
It's definitely weird. So I wonder if there is any type of user. I wonder if there's some data that is being taken into account with this that we really just can't see. Not
That's
like
a good point,
citations
too.
and things like that. So
User engagement and interaction.
yeah, which would make sense if they put more emphasis on that, especially from a local presence. If you're getting driving directions from this area, if you're in this area when you click to call and they service that area, that kind of stuff. So
And we really would not have any way to even guess at that stuff. So, yeah, that's-
Exactly. It's going to be difficult to test, but it should be fun.